everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody doing? Hello. Hey, who's getting pumped up right now? Because I'm just getting started. Okay, all right. So before I introduce the next speaker, my name is Paula. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the current secretary of the student ICA here at Palmer. And so I was having a conversation with a doctor this morning who's about to speak, and he told me a little fun fact, and I guess I want to share it with you guys. And so we were talking about left brain and right brain. And so we all know left side controls right side of the brain, right side controls left side of the brain, right? And so fun fact about this doctor is that he's left-handed, which means he has that right mind. And he has that right mind for this profession. So I want to introduce Dr. Peter Kavorkian. He has a home practice in Massachusetts. He specializes in pediatric chiropractic, and he is the president of the board of directors for the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association. And he will be sharing with us today how every adjustment is a miracle. So give it up for Dr. Kavorkian.
Okay, first put your hands together for Paula and Kelly and the whole team ICA. Really put it up for the student ICA. It takes an awful lot to put something like this together. Let them know your level of appreciation. Stand up, applaud, scream, give them loads of love and energy. Okay, this one. So just so you guys are aware, when I was a student at Palmer, I did lots of stuff. I was president of the Philosophy and Communications Club. I was vice president of the student ICA. I was editor of the Beacon. I was also involved in an underground student paper that was around then. So I did lots of stuff. And then you graduate, and you do lots of stuff. So get ready, girls, guys. You're getting lots of stuff to do. Leadership doesn't start later. It happens now. You are all on a very important path in your life. You are a leader. You're going to be a leader for your families, for your practice, for the members of your practice, and most of the little kids that you're going to take care of. Kids look at us like we are gurus. That we're these amazing, amazing creatures that know it all. That's how kids look at mom and dad. That's how they look at grown-ups. Like, we're amazing creatures that know it all. How many of you feel like you know it all? I know. And I stand up here, and most of you are going to look and say, wow, he like knows it all. I know. I've just been doing it a little longer than you. In the scheme of life, I think everything is a miracle. I want you all to take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Close your eyes for a moment and watch the breath move in and out of your body. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. It's a miracle. What's the origin of your breath? What triggers us to breathe? It's a miracle. You have to expect breath. It just happens. It's a miracle. I believe that every life experience is a miracle. And we're here to honor that. Today, this time we have together, to share stories, experiences, perceptions, to reconnect with an inner truth that we've known literally since we've taken our first breath. It's a miracle. And we have lots of reminders in our lifetime of miracles. I call them the wow moments. Remember the first time you saw a snowfall? You saw those like, wow! And when you got older, you were in school, and you wake up in the morning, and there's 2 feet of snow on the ground, and you know what's going to happen. No school, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You go, wow! You know the feeling that you have when you're a little kid, and you get up at Christmas morning, or you're Jewish and Hanukkah morning, however, and you see presents, and you go, wow! You know what I'm talking about? Miracles are the wow. Remember the time you had your first kiss? Wow. Your last kiss? Wow. When you fell in love? Wow. Some of you had a baby. You know, we see lots of pregnant ladies in our practice and lots of kids. And so I have this one woman now who's pregnant. She comes in. I start early in the morning. I start at 6 in the morning. She comes in at 6:15, and she's the most adorable. You know, she's like 32 years old, something like that. We've taken care of her husband forever, for her for much less than that, but for a couple of years now. And I said, I know the biology, and I know the science, and I know all the stuff that's connected to what it takes to make a baby. But there's a baby in there. And she gets a smile on her face. Says, it's amazing. And in a few days, you're going to be holding your baby. And she gets a tear in her eyes and says, but don't think that you have to wait till then to talk to her or to him. It's a miracle. Love him, love her now. What are they feeling? Every emotion you have, every experience you have, they're sensing. You're bonding. It's a miracle. And she looks at me, she says, you didn't think about that. Very often we just look at it, it's like, oh, it's a process you got to go through. But life began and is living inside her body and making a whole new human. It's a miracle. It's, wow! You don't know what I'm talking about? Give me a feeling. Find a moment in your life that was like, amazing. And let it, from the deepest part of your core, feel that and express it as, wow! Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow! Come on. Deepest part of your core. Okay, be a little kid. Okay, you just opened a present and it was what you wanted for the last 10 years. And you opened it and you didn't expect it. You would say, wow! You see this woman or this guy across the hall and you think they are the hottest thing on the planet. And they walk up to you and they say, hi. To let you go out for coffee. And you go, wow! Really like, wow! So this is going to be class participation time for the next 40 minutes. Because I'm going to talk about miracles. As we talk about miracles, I want you to say, wow. Well, really say, wow. Allow a neurohormone rush to happen in your body so you can feel it in every cell of your being, because that's what patients feel. When you give an adjustment, you say, wow, oh, it's not even. And they've been doing it 30 times, 30 whatever years. And so I think, holy shit, it really happened. It's wow. Margaret brings in a child very early on in practice. Chelsea, her daughter, was about 6 months old, and she brings her in, and Margaret's very stressed, you can feel it. She, in her history, says Chelsea, since she has been born, has barely been eating, barely been pooping, barely been peeing, screams incessantly. She had been to numerous medical physicians, been put on different medications. They could find nothing wrong. And she says, I'm going to give this a try. I was told that you could help her. And I told Margaret, I said, Margaret, we don't really treat anything. We just make sure that the system that controls everything has less interference in the body. Allow the brain and body to talk to each other better, and let's just see what life does. We gave Chelsea a very specific adjustment, and within minutes, Chelsea pukes and poops in the office. Huge mess. It's like, take Chelsea home, come back in a couple days, let's see how she's doing. Margaret comes back 2 days later, holding Chelsea, tears in her eyes. She says, thank you for giving me my baby back. Chelsea grows up to be this beautiful lady right now. Still take care of her and her 2 sisters. When Chelsea was about 8 years old, Margaret comes into the office. It's like, that was like our first, wow, this is real marvelous, shit really works. But she was about 8 years old, 9 years old. Margaret comes in. Usually when Margaret comes in, she brings the other two daughters. But this one day, she comes in just with Chelsea. Chelsea's a high-energy kid, running around the office. And she comes in that day, sitting on her mother's lap. She gets on the table, and as I'm checking her, to make sure that her spine is free of interference, I could tell her body was really warm. Her breathing was really shallow. I could feel the lymphatics were up. And Margaret goes to me and says, Peter, what do you think is going on? I said, oh, it just feels like her body's fighting an infection. As the words came out of my mouth, I almost saw them. I said, fighting an infection. This beautiful child I've taken care of since a baby is a war. And I really sat with the fact is the body really going to combat, to fight things? Because at that point in my life, I was saying, there has to be an answer to world's problems that don't involve conflict, aggression, overtaking. I was coming into a place really in my heart, believing that love and compassion can bring healing to the world. And so when I looked at it, I said, fighting an infection, is there really a war going on in there? And so I sat with this for a while, and you'll get where I'm coming from. This is my story. I said, one day there's probably a scientist looking down a microscope, and he saw the macrophage engulfing the bacteria. He says, the macrophage is engulfing the bacteria and killing it. And I sat with him and said, but who was the scientist? He came from a patriarchal viewpoint of the world, of control and dominance, aggression, overtaking. So he viewed that act